Really matter because you're not on. You're not on. But anyway, three, two, one. I'm starting the recording. So here we go again, you guys. Here I am once again. EmbraceTheStains.com on the top. ETSRevolution at gmail.com. Welcome to Embrace the Stains. My name is Kuya Paul, and as always, welcome to the community. Welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, definitely don't forget to click the subscribe button. And don't forget to continue to watch all the other videos that I have online. If you're watching it right now live with me in Ustream, don't forget to go ahead and also click the subscribe button. I believe there's a subscribe or a follow button so you can get updates on when I'm actually online. Well, other than that, we do have a question today. And my question is, what's my question today? How do you get her? Oh, no, not how do you get her. How do you tell her? How do you tell her you like her? So I got this question from someone that used, of course, my email and basically said, "Hey, Kuya Paul, I want to tell her I like her. How do I do that?" And at first I was like, "Yeah, I can answer that." I'll be honest. When I first got the question, I was like, "I can answer that. I don't. Oh, okay. Well, all right." So I will tell you this. If you're going to tell her that you like her, there is a laundry list of things that you have to know is going to happen. Because once you open up that kind of worms, the worms pop out and they do havoc on your life. I don't want it to sound like it's going to be an incredible mess, but unless you're prepared for it, it can be. You have to understand a couple things. Number one, if you tell a girl you like her and you've been developing the relationship properly, that means you're friends. So if you're friends and you tell her that you like her, that changes your friendship. There's no other way of saying it. Once you tell her you like her, it changes the way she looks at you and the way you look at her. Because now she looks at you and she looks at all your actions and she's gonna think, oh, he's not doing it because he's nice. He's doing it because he likes me. And tell you what, from experience, that's not always a good thing. In fact, a lot of times, if you haven't fully developed a proper relationship and you haven't really assessed whether or not this is a good time to tell her you like her, it can ruin a friendship. Or at the very least, put it on pause for a very, very long period of time. But as long as you assess the relationship you currently have, seeing what kinds of friends you are at the moment, and what you guys are developing into, then there is a proper moment, and there's a proper moment to tell her that you like her. There is a proper moment. It's not always the moment that you want. It's not always the moment that you plan for, but if you continue to develop your relationship as friends, then the hope is, and it doesn't always happen this way, but the hope is that telling her that you like her develops naturally. That there's just going to be a moment where you guys just feel like, you know what? I think we like each other. And then that's the time where the guy, and it is important, that's why I'm glad a guy asked this. It is important for the guy to kind of initiate and say, hey, you know what? I'll tell you what, I like you. I'll tell you what, I think you're really great, blah, 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 blah. And then you can go through your whole spiel of why you like her and everything else. And you can sing Bruno Mars songs till the cows come home if that's what your thing is. And then, yeah, hopefully if you develop your relationship properly as friends, then, yeah, you can go ahead and say, hey, I like you. Let me backtrack actually a little bit. So we're talking about how do you get to the point where you can tell her you like her, or how do you tell her? We already talked about it. The first part is actually assessing your relationship, and that's the first thing that you really do have to do. Assess the atmosphere. What's going on? Is this a good time for me to even tell her? I would definitely say, and this may be a misnomer. This may be like, oh, this is an obvious point, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Y'all got to be friends first. So if you're not friends, it's not gonna work. You can't just be going up. I did it once. Like, I wasn't even friends with her, and I told her, I really like you. I have no idea who you are, and I have no idea what you do, and I don't know your personality at all, but I think you're cute. Like, yeah, nothing's gonna happen. Guess what? I never talked to her ever again. But I figured, well, it was during, okay, story time. So it was during a time when I was taking a dance class. Yes, I took a dance class. It was interesting too because this is when I was actually getting in shape during college. I was taking dance class, volleyball, running, and I was actually in the best shape of my life ever. And looking at me right now, I'm not, but back then I kind of was. And I figured I'd take a dance class. I just wanted to get mobility. I was actually at the same time, I believe I was also taking a weapons training and karate class. And I figured this would be a really good way of kind of getting stretched out so I can be able to do more moves. Because as you can see, I am Kung Fu Panda, and I like the karate stuff. I'm not really good at it. I'm only a ninth Q, which is like the top tier of karate Shotokan. But I don't know nothing. But I'd want to think I did. Whatever. That's a side note. In any event, I was taking a dance class. Basically, yeah. There's no other way of saying it. Kuya Paul took a dance class, like real like dance, like not even just like that whole interpretive dance class. Oh my gosh, like we were running around. You're like this, and it's like no, just get loose, and then we were just running on the floor. We were running. We were doing cartwheel. I did a cartwheel. Kuya Paul did a cartwheel. I was like, I just gotta get loose, and it was really fun. But then that's where I met her, and her. I can only assume her very happy best friend, if you know what I mean. So I told her that I liked her, and I never spoke to her again. She was really cute too. I don't even remember her name, but whatever. It was a one-time thing. So to sum it all up, you gotta know her. That means you gotta be friends. With every relationship that develops, proper relationships develop as friends. There's no other relationship out there that I know, like boy girl relationship that I know. No other relationship I know that doesn't start as friends first, because in the end, they don't become your husband, your wife. Basically, they become your best friend. They are your best friend. So if you can't be civil and be friends in the beginning, then it's not gonna work out anyway. So y'all gotta be friends first. You just gotta get along. I would really recommend doing that first. So if you like her, it could just be a like. I used to like a really good. In fact, I would even say even to this day, I really still see her as my best friend. I used to like her, but I found out later it was appreciation. Found out later it was just because I really liked her as a friend. When that happened, it was actually really cool because she became my best friend. I'd be able to talk to her like night after night, and we just talk about stuff, talk about who we liked and what we should do. And we were young, man. We didn't know nothing. So, side note on that, one of the things that she actually did, and this is why y'all should get, and this is a side note too for like how to ask her, y'all should get a best girlfriend, which what I mean is a best friend that's a girl, because they can give you advice. My sisters are like that. They're not my best girlfriends, my best friends that are girls, what I mean, but they tell me stuff that I don't see in terms of like what I do in front of girls, that it's just incredible advice, especially if you're an only child, or if you have a family with all boys and no girls, or sad to say if you don't get along with your sister, which you should, because sisters are awesome. But if you need that girl advice, you need to get a best friend that's a girl. My best friend that's a girl did this great, awesome thing for me. It never really worked out because, the girl I liked actually got married. It don't matter. But what she did is when I told her, it's like, yeah, I really like this girl. I really like her. She went, you want me to talk to her? It's like, no, I maybe I can, maybe I could talk you up. Maybe like maybe make you look better and tell all the really great things about you. And I was like, well, really? You can do that? And it's like, yeah, no, that's what girls do. I'm like, what the heck? I'm so missing out. And I'm like, and then that's what she did. She ended up talking me up, but at the end, again, didn't really work out, so it doesn't matter. But it was really cool. I loved it. I really did love it. Having that. So side note, advice. Side note advice is really to like let her know. It's like, hey, no, not let her know. Get a girl that's a friend, a best friend that's a girl. it really helps. And then they'll be able to tell you, it's like, yeah, I don't even know if this will work out. Or they might even say, ooh, you know what? I see that. And you know when they say, when your friend goes, hey, I see that, that means like, maybe I'm going the right way. So I really, really, really recommend that. Really recommend it. And that could be your ticket in to get to the next point where we're going to talk about. So we didn't even get to actually telling you that you like her yet. We're not there yet. Because again, we got to assess the situation. And going back, yeah, get a best friend that's a girl. That'll really like help you actually assess the situation. Yourself assess the situation, which means that you got to be her friend. So it'll be easier. Believe me, when you're friends, it's going to be easy. It'll be easy to really figure out, is this really going somewhere? The times where I was not friends with the person became the very hardest times for me to find out what was going on. Because you don't have the freedom to. When you're a friend, and hey, I know what the world says. Like, hey, you want to be friend zone. I'm like, you know what? I'll say this. I will say this. In the end, there's really no such place as the friend zone. Oh, I said it. What? I said it. What you gonna do? There is no such place as the friend zone. Case in point, some of the most baller guys I know are pastors, and they have some of the quote unquote most beautiful girls out there that became their wives. They're really beautiful. They're really beautiful women, really smart, really intellectual women. Guess what? A lot of the pastors that I talked to that this all happened, they were friends first. In fact, they actually saw them as big brothers. So they were friend zoned. And yet they ended up still getting together. What? It happens. There ain't no such place as the friend zone as long as you don't believe in the friend zone. As long as you don't, it sounds like anti-Christian. It's like, if you don't believe it, it doesn't. It's like, imagine there's no heaven. No, it's not like that. But if you believe there's a friend zone, you'll get stuck in it. If you believe you're being a friend because you want more, then chances are, in the end, you'll be that friend, that best friend, that friend that's always there. And there's a lot of assessment that goes into it. Again, you can't do it though unless you're a friend. And once you're a friend, you can start assessing the situation. Now we assess the situation. Now we're friends. Now we get along. All right. Step 2. How do you get to the point where you're more than friends? Because that is a point. That's a point that happens in a relationship. You start to find out you're more than friends. So I would like to, if you have not heard this phrase before, I'd like to introduce it to you for the very first time. And it's really popular, especially in Christian circuits. But in terms of actually finding that whole idea of like, okay, is this going to be working out? You need to have what's called, I feel like I have some of the youth that are watching me. I feel like they all know what I'm going to say. But whatever. For you guys on YouTube that are going to be watching this is what I'm going to tell you. You need to have what's called a DTR. So DTR means define the relationship. And basically it's a time where you sit down and you actually define what's going on. Now, before you have a DTR, see, here's the thing that a lot of people don't really get. They don't get when you have a DTR, when you have a define a relationship moment, that you have to have had a relationship first. This is why being friends is so important, because you need a relationship. You can't have a DTR if you don't know each other. You need to know each other. You need to know what's going on, and you need to be confused enough to know what else is going on. Does that make sense? You need to know that you guys are friends, and you also need to know there are some awkward moments I've been having with him where he'd do this for me and it felt different. Or when he smiles at me, it feels different. It feels like there's like this butterfly in my stomach, or oh man, when I see her, something goes on and I get excited, like I'm meeting like someone I really like, or like, you know, when when we're at church, I find myself always sitting beside her. Why is that? I don't even know. You have to get to a point in your relationship when you get confused. Now, before I get into what a DTR really is, those feelings that you have, and a lot of people don't tell you, you ain't gonna hear this at church. You ain't gonna hear this. You ain't gonna hear this from like everyone else, or like even your parents. Your parents, if you really get into it, they'll tell you. But you have to really have a good conversation with your parents, your mom, with your dad about this stuff. But you're not normally gonna hear this. But you got to remember that when you're developing a relationship, there is a time in a DTR, in developing the relationship, where a lot of relationships will end. I don't mean that you'll stop being friends. What I mean is you get to a border where that's exactly where the relationship is supposed to have. Like you get to the border. Now, what I mean is, if I'm developing a relationship with a friend that's a girl, and I have no feelings for her at all, then we have to, if she doesn't feel the same way, we have to have a DTR to define the boundaries of this relationship. And I've had it a couple times myself, where I basically had to say, hey, you're my friend, and here's the boundary. Like, here are the borders. I don't see it going into marriage, but I still want to be your friend. And guess what? Those people in my life, they're still my friends, because they know the borders. Hence, the DTR. Because when you have a DTR, when you want to tell a girl you like her, you have to go into it knowing that there are options in the DTR. Because a lot of times, this is what the world tells you. This is what MTV and whatever and everything else on TV tells you. They tell you that, hey, if you like a girl, you have to tell her, and if not, that's it. That's the end of the relationship. It's like, oh, we can start being friends, but then there's this whole like super like Dawson's Creek, True Blood, any other teen thing that I can't think of right now, kind of time where it's like 3 seasons of awkwardness. You might still have that, but in the end, if you do it right, there's a chance that you can keep the relationship and you can keep each other as friends if you define the borders. That's what a DTR does. You can really define what you're really supposed to do in this relationship that God has given you. Yes, I dropped the G word, God. God is developing the relationship within you. So when you're going through these things, these feelings, because guess what? You're going to have these feelings more than once, normally. Now, there's a chance for some of you guys, the first feeling that you have with that one girl could be the last feeling that you have, and she's the one. Because some of you guys are just that sensitive. That's cool. And hopefully it's the other way around with the girls to the guys too. Yeah, it could happen that way. It could. And I've met a couple couples, a lot of older couples, a lot of people, I've met full adults going into their 30, 40, 50 year anniversary, and they basically said, yeah, he was my high school sweetheart, my first love, and we just kept it on. Cool. A lot of you guys, that ain't going to be the case. Because a lot of you guys are going to be like, okay, I had that feeling for her, and then for her, and for her. There was one time in my life where I basically went every year and I liked a different girl. My hormones done raged when I was in high school. It done raged. I mean, I won't today, because you see what watch someone do. I start naming all the names, and then someone from my past, long time ago, they say, hey, you said Francine. Is that me? Because I'm Francine. I knew you around junior high, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, no, great. Now I'm embarrassed and stuff. Watch, they're going to be watching it one day, and they're like, Paul said that he used to like me? Is that me? It's like, no, I ain't going to do that. But I can count it with my hands and my toes how many girls I liked. Every year, I liked a different girl. Every year. And there were some years that I liked a girl again. Like, I went back and liked the girl I used to like. Whatever. I mean, I can go through it. You're going to have feelings like this. And it might and probably won't be the first time you'll have it. Which, again, goes back into what I'm going to be talking about right now. The defined relationship. It's important to do so, because you don't want to be that guy that has like a whole bunch of exes. Seriously, I don't want you to be the guy. I don't want you to be the guy. It's like, oh, she's my ex-girlfriend. I'm like, really? Like the whole group, the whole church is your ex-girlfriend? Yeah. No, I don't want you to be that guy. I don't want you to be like, because I met guys. No. For real. I met guys that do that. I don't want you to be that guy. For real, please don't be that guy. Because I met guys that just basically, they do a round robin in a church and then they move to another church. This is in the church, man. For real. This is in the church. They just do like this round robin. I like you. Why don't I like you back? Why I like you. Why I like you. I don't like you back. All right. Well, I heard there's this church in San Gabriel Valley. I'm gonna go to that. I'm like, oh my golly, wow! Don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I want you to basically be able to develop a proper relationship with people, which basically means you're gonna categorize people in friends, and that one special person will be your bestest best of best friends. So when you do a DTR, make sure you know what you're gonna get yourself into. When you tell her, here we go, you ready? DTR. When you tell her that you like her, you have to, I don't want to say assume, but I want to say you have to put into account everything that has happened so far. If it helps, address it. Say, you know what? I know we've been hanging around each other a lot. I know we've been and we have a good time together. I really do see that. Be totally honest. Don't be fake emotional. Be real emotional. Like for real, just be real emotional. If it's within the church, which a lot of these will be, then be churchy, but be real churchy. Don't be like, and I've been praying about you when you really haven't. Like, if you didn't pray about it, then say, you know what? Like, I just thought about it. I'll be honest, I haven't prayed about it yet. I just started praying about it recently. Go, dude, good, fine. At least you started praying for it or something. Yeah, right? And I'd really recommend that. Please pray before you do all this stuff. Everything requires prayer, especially DTRs. Oh, please, DTRs, yes, especially. But let them know, like, hey, I've been really thinking about this. I really been thinking about you and us because I see something's going on. I think. And the reason why I want to tell you all this is because, and you have to say the words, okay? Believe me, you have to say the words. This is one thing I learned in sales that actually does kind of relate to relationships. You have to close the deal. There were times where we had reps, they do one-on-one sales, and we used to sell this product called, I can't say it because I might get, we used to sell knives, really good knives, and you'll probably see all these other guys like in your college trying to tell you to sell knives. By the way, it's not a scam. It's just people don't know how to work. I worked. It is not a scam. I've actually been blessed to actually go to Chicago, to Vegas, all on their dime too, and they paid for the hotel and everything. So you know what? Ain't no scam. You just don't know how to work. But this is one thing I learned about sales. You got to close it. You actually have to say, see all these great knives that I took an hour to show you. Do you want these knives, and how many do you want? Now I wouldn't actually go. It's like, hey, so what should we call ourselves, boyfriend, girlfriend? Don't do that. But I do want to say that you need to close the sale by saying, or close your talk by saying, I like you. That's it. Just close by just saying, I like you. So it's clear that the reason why you sat her down, the reason why you wanted to meet at Starbucks, the reason you wanted to meet at wherever you wanted to meet, don't meet anywhere fancy too. Don't be like, no, because it's too obvious. Don't be like, I want to bring you to like Cheesecake Factory and the whole meal is on me. And then here's like this $50, $60 bill when you're only in like high school. She's going to know something's up. I'm like, why are you going to be like, no, go somewhere cash. Go somewhere you always go. But be private. It's just you and her. If you guys meet at the park, go to the park again. But be private. Go to like kind of a lone table or whatever. And then just like, just do it there. I don't necessarily recommend doing it over phone because I think it's something you should do personally. I have met some people that have done it over the phone because they had to. But if you can, meet personal. Go to McDonald's. Nothing wrong with McDonald's. Starbucks, if that's your thing, go over there. If you want, I wouldn't do it at church, actually, because it's just too much pressure to be too spiritual. Go somewhere you're just comfortable. Don't go to their house. Go somewhere where it's neutral, and tell her. And tell her you like her. Don't say, well, I wanted to know how you felt about me first. I'm like, no, tell her you like her. Have the guts to say, hey, I like you. I really do. I've been praying about it. I've really been thinking about it. I've been thinking about you. I feel like we do have a really good time together. And I've really been praying that maybe this will go even farther to something that will last longer than a few years, maybe even longer. And perhaps maybe you might be the one that God wants me to spend my life with. However, I just want to let you know today I like you. I do. I like you. That's all. That's it. After that, just Let everything go as it may. I actually saw a video about our DTR, which is funny. It's a music video. Jason Chu. I linked him before. I'll link him again if I have to. But he made the DTR video where a lot of people I think could relate. I related to it because we had all those things happen to us when we were young. But I like how he ends one of the DTRs within the music video. Says, "Hey, you don't have to have an answer now, but can we pray?" When I had a DTR once with a really great special, well, everyone's special, but a person of mine, I actually did have a DTR of a girl I liked. She was really special, and it was one of the first times I actually did have a DTR. She did say, I need to pray about this. She told me her feelings up front. It's like, this is how I really just feel right now. But I will pray about it. And I like that. Don't take the I will pray about it as an insult. It's not. I saw. Sorry, Kuya, you're the one I was talking about when I said over the phone. You know what? A side note. My boy, my Kuya, I'm not going to say his screen name because I don't want you hustling him if you find him. But my Kuya actually, he has a really great story. I'm going to ask if you don't mind me telling it. I don't know if I'm going to tell it right, but no, it's okay. I won't tell it. But basically, yeah, he did it over the phone. He kind of had to do it over the phone because he was more accosted by his wife, future wife, now his wife. So it actually did work. Hey, he did it over the phone, but it worked. But I don't recommend it unless you really have to do it. Now, with that, going back, yes, prayer. Definitely pray about it. Pray about it before. Snap and a half. Pray about it. Pray about it before. Pray. Is this really going to happen? Because sometimes you're just emotionally just like, well, do I have to do it? Do I have to do it? No, pray about it. Pray. Just pray. Pray. See if this is what's really supposed to happen. And like in a lot, God will give you something. God gave something to me, and in the end, when I did my DTR, yeah, it didn't work out, but I learned a lot. I learned tons of stuff. You gotta just jump in and just say, you know what? No matter what happens, I'm gonna learn something. And a lot of times, in fact, almost every time, if you do it right, you'll end up having a stronger relationship with your friends. Now, stronger meaning you'll get together, maybe. It's also stronger meaning, hey, you know what? We shared a moment together. It got interesting. And we're still friends. But it makes friendships a whole lot stronger if you do it right. With that, though, and then the last thing I'll say about it is if you like a girl and you want to tell her that you like her, pray about it. Really pray. Really seek God on it. And do it. One day. You have to find the right time. But don't be shy. One of the things that gets in people's way is just that shyness. For me, got in the way. Gets in the way. I can talk up a storm. Guy, girl, doesn't matter. Young, old, doesn't matter. Super duper attractive. They could be a super attractive girl, not guy. It doesn't matter which guy. But it could be a super attractive girl. Everyone's like her. All the guys are drooling. I can talk up a storm with her. I don't care. Once I know I like her, I develop mutism and I can't talk. And if I do, I feel like I'm saying the wrong thing. Or I'll talk too much in a spurt and I feel like, I said a billion things wrong and I'll stop talking again. Which is really funny. If you know me in real life, or you actually get to meet me one day, if you find that I'm talking to a girl and I stop talking, or I get incredibly shy when I'm usually not, you can tell I like her. But if anything, and if there's something that I've learned throughout the years of going through all this weird relationship stuff, whether it's with youth or with myself, just try. One day, when it's right, when you've prayed about it, when you really do believe in your heart and you've talked to people too. If I forgot to mention that, talk to people. Now I talked about having your best friend that's a girl, talk to her. If you have a kuya or an ate, like a big brother, big sister, talk to them. Talk to your parents about it. Yeah, talk to your parents about it. Don't be keeping it a secret. Your parents, guess what? Your parents are together because they had a DTR. Because they had to say, hey, you like me? Yeah, I like you. You like me? Yeah. It's like, we should get married, huh? Yeah, we should, huh? Yeah, they had a DTR. So talk to them about it. Like your dad, and I pray like a lot of you guys, I know you guys have dads. Some of you guys might not be watching this on YouTube. Talk to someone who you feel like is your big brother or your dad. Could be a pastor, could be a teacher. Let them know. And you know what? I never met a pastor, never met a teacher. And if you do, let me finish my thought. If you ever met a pastor, I never met a teacher. I never met anyone older that if you went up to them and really asked about relationship advice or advice on life, I never seen a person like that reject you. Now, if they do, they're jerks, and you let me know, and I will slap them because they shouldn't. Because it is an honor for any man to go to another man who is older than them, see them as their brother or their father, especially when they're not, and ask for advice about life. That is an honor. If you ever get rejected by that, you let me know. Email me their number. I'm going to go. If it's a teacher, I'm going to go to their school. I will interrupt their class and say, bro, you just talked to this one boy and he's asking about advice on his life and you rejected him. Boy, we need to have a talk right now. I don't care if you're teaching history. You need to step out. We need to talk. If it's a pastor, I will interrupt his service if he rejects you openly and he doesn't want to give you any advice. I will go into the middle of his service, into his sermon. I will speak in his mic and say, we need to talk because you cannot talk to the rest of your sheep. If one of your sheep comes up to you and asks you all that stuff and you're going to reject them, we need to talk. So, saying all that, not that I'm mad at anyone, but they shouldn't. You should be able to go to someone that you trust and actually just say, hey, I need advice. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to do Embrace the Stands, because I feel like there's so many people out there that don't have that person or they don't know. Hey, I have an email, I have a Facebook, I have this whole website dedicated to you guys just coming in and just asking me questions about life. That's what I'm here for. So this is one of the questions. I'm always open. There's people around you that are always open. Ask them about advice. For real, serious. When's the right time? Is it the right time right now? You might not be ready. You might need to get a job. You might need to get some money. You might need to get a life. And I don't mean that as an insult. Maybe you need to focus on career right now. Go to school or develop your career. If school's not your thing and you want to do something else, maybe you want to go into art, develop your art form first. Make sure you have something stable. Make sure you have something that you're passionate about. Last thing that girls want, and I found this out the easy way and the hard way, is girls want someone who has a future. So if you're just going to be hanging out and you say, hey, I like you, it's like, yeah, but what, like, you want to be serious. What are you seriously going to do with the rest of your life? If you can't answer that, then you shouldn't have the DTR. You should have the DTR with yourself first. Define the role, define the future, define your career first. And then you can have a defining relationship with a girl that's probably also thinking the same thing. So that's basically it. Get people around you. Get people talking to you and into your life, so you can actually finally get to those roles. So that's my advice to you guys. I definitely do. In fact, I'll do it right now. I want to give out a prayer to every one of you guys going through that, and just an encouragement. Hey, if you're gonna go through it, I'm praying for you. I hope God really does something in your life. So in that, let me pray, God, for every guy out there that is going through this mess about asking a girl out. First and foremost, we remember that every person out there, every woman that you've created is your creation, is your daughter, and we respect that so much. So we don't want to taint that. We don't want to corrupt that. We want to respect that. However, you've also put in this passion, this emotion, and also this heart to be with one of them, and you've ordained it in your word that the two shall become one. So please, God, I pray every guy watching this, whether it's right now on the stream or on YouTube later on, God, you bless them. Make sure that they make the right decisions. They wait until the right time to have their right defining moment of the relationship. And I pray for every guy that does that. They do it properly. They do it with respect to the girl and respect to you, so that in the end they can have a loving relationship, whether it's as friends or as husband and wife, and they give you glory throughout it all. And I pray all that in your name. Amen. So that's it, guys. That's my question. As promised, I am going to also do my other question as well too. But in the meantime, again, if you guys have any questions about anything. If it's life, I'm going to be doing another question right now for artists. So if you have any questions about art and art forms, getting into art, worship, the church, whatever. And again, personal, ETSRevolution@gmail.com. Visit my website, Embrace the Stains. Look up some stuff that I've already done. All the links to my YouTube and also Ustream as well. Definitely use these as resources. If there's a question I've already answered, click on it, listen to it, take the time. You guys will be blessed. You will. I don't guarantee it, but I've already been blessed doing it, so I know you guys will be blessed listening to it. So just remember those links. And with that, I'm going to end this recording. Take care. God bless. And I don't normally say